Thank you. Now I would like to invite Mr. Brandon Silver to take the floor for 4 minutes.
Honorable député, merci pour l'opportunité de vous joindre aujourd'hui. As legal counsel to victims of atrocities and political prisoners, we have seen the horrifying human stories that underpin the staggering statistics of abuse in Iran. Iran has the highest rate of child executions in the world, the highest per capita rate of executions more generally, the highest rate of state hostage takings, and the highest per capita rate of imprisonment of journalists. This has real and tangible costs for Canadians. It meant the murder of Montreal photojournalist Zahra Kazemi, the hostage takings of Professor Maria Mombaini and Saeed Malikpour, the killing of Canadian passengers of flight PS752, the murders of 8 Canadians on October 7, 2023, and now the atrocities ongoing as we speak, where authorities are confirmed to have killed Canadians and likely will continue doing so. None of these Canadians receive justice, and their killers and kidnappers enjoy impunity. They are now committing these crimes again as we meet here today. Canada has the authority to investigate and prosecute these crimes. The criteria established by the RCMP for opening a structural investigation has clearly been met. These crimes against humanity that are occurring have a strong nexus to Canada. There are Canadian victims. Many in the Iranian community here in Canada can provide evidence to the RCMP, and perpetrators are likely to be caught in Canada. Announcing the opening of an investigation would send a message of solidarity to victims, of accountability to violators, and assert the value of Canadian citizenship. It would protect our sovereignty, establishing consequences for murdering Canadians and demonstrating that their murderers are not welcome in Canada. The gathering of evidence through a structural investigation would assist with prospective prosecutions in Canada or with mechanisms abroad. It would also assist the Canadian Border Services Agency to identify and deny entry to perpetrators, many of whom are likely to come to Canada as conditions in Iran continue to deteriorate. Again, 2 separate United Nations independent expert bodies have determined that the actions of these perpetrators may constitute crimes against humanity. They should be investigated and prosecuted as such. Canada has an opportunity and a duty to lead on behalf of the victimized Canadians left without justice, on behalf of the brave Iranians on the front lines of the fight for our common humanity, and on behalf of our country's foundational principles of justice and the rule of law that is currently under global assault. Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite Ms. Kimberly Lenz to take the floor for 4 minutes. Please.
Thank you. My remarks today address the urgent need for a decisive Canadian response to the Islamic Republic's widespread crackdown on peaceful protesters and its external aggression abroad. The sheer scale of the regime's systematic brutality is unprecedented. By conservative estimates, as we have heard, at least 33,000 Iranians have been massacred, with credible assessments ranging far higher. Experts describe it as the worst mass killing in Iran's modern history, and others conclude it meets the legal threshold for crimes against humanity. The killings continue, and the regime's judiciary has announced the imminent execution of thousands of detainees. Alongside this, Canada and liberal democracies face escalating threats from the Islamic Republic and its proxies. CSIS, the G7, and a broad coalition of democracies have warned of growing transnational repression and lethal threats. This is an historic and pivotal moment. Canadian leadership would build on mounting political momentum to deny the regime the freedom to operate with impunity. We urge the Canadian government to target the architect of these threats, the IRGC, by dismantling its networks through 2 key measures. First, Canada should promote and support prescription of the IRGC as a terrorist entity with like-minded partners, particularly the UK, where parliamentarians are pressing for the rapid adoption of enabling legislation and the group's designation. Second, it should deepen coordination with allies, including the European Union, which unanimously agreed on its designation last week. Enhanced intelligence sharing, law enforcement and judicial collaboration, and sanctions alignment would strengthen national and global security. Iranians continue to rise up against the regime's tyranny and to risk their lives in pursuit of a secular, democratic Iran grounded in human rights. Canada must respond with urgency and resolve. Thank you for the opportunity.